Was Finn versus Edge? Was that an I Quit match? Oh yeah, we were there because we heard Finn go.
Remember, Finn was
Yeah, sorry, I just screamed it to the mic. That probably maxed out super hard, but.
Welcome back to the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm Mark Izzo, he is Dillon O'Brien, and we are your hosts. Now, before we get into our Clash at the Castle predictions, make sure to listen to the most recent episode of the Burning Hammer podcast because we had our very first interview, Cade Powers. We interviewed him about his journey on becoming a professional wrestler, so definitely you can watch it on YouTube or you can listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast. It was an absolute blast. Hopefully, that is the first of many more to come. Me and Dillon would love to interview any wrestler out there. So if you're watching this and you're a wrestler and you want to hop on the show, shoot us a DM, and we will definitely make that happen. Isn't that right, Dillon?
Absolutely. Yeah, again, just like reiterating what you said, it was such a blast having Cade on. He was such a great guest. He was like he's such a nice guy, and you could tell he's got just such a passion for the business, and he was very transparent about every question, and he was just he was really a lot of fun to talk to, and he made our first time interviewing somebody really, really easy. So shout out to Cade. Thanks again for coming on the podcast. Definitely make sure to check out Cade Powers and Bloodsport Fighting Coalition on Facebook. So absolutely, just wanted to say that before we get into what we got going on today, which is 2024 Clash at the Castle predictions, baby. We are in Scotland. Scotland.
Yes, so it is this Saturday, June 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern start time with an 11 a.m. Pacific start time in Scotland. So let's start off with the first match. We got a few of them added recently. Actually, we have two of them added on last week's episode of SmackDown. We're recording this a decent amount in advance. But, Dillon, talk me through Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. Is it Chad Gable's time?
Dude, this is a tough one because I was not expecting this match to happen at Clash. I was really expecting them. Yeah, I thought they were going to push it to SummerSlam because I think Gable wins. Like, I think this is where I'm at in the story. I'm not that convinced that he will actually win, but I'm a little confused because I don't what do you do if you don't have him win? Then the feud has to be over if you have him lose, and it feels like the feud ends with Gable getting the title, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely going that will be the end of the feud. Is Gable will hoist that title above his head.
You gotta think say what you're gonna say.
It's for me, I think that Gable can lose and this feud can still go, and I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm taking Sami to retain. I've seen a lot of people, and it makes sense. I've seen a lot of people say that Sami is going to win Money in the Bank.
I like that.
So that's why they think he's going to drop the title.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gable. Just because that definitely kind of convinced me a little bit because I think Sami is definitely a top choice for Money in the Bank. Especially because I haven't had a babyface be Money in the Bank in a while, so that would be really cool. And Yeah, it feels like that's a perfect way to have Sami finally get it. Would be Money in the Bank. But going back to his current situation, the Intercontinental title, yeah, I'm going to go Gable just because I don't know how we get back to Gable challenging for it again if he loses here. Because it's just like, it feels like we have a full month and a half before SummerSlam. Like, you got to carry that on for 6 weeks. I don't know. Like 6 more weeks of the same feud. What other layers could possibly be added in 6 weeks to keep us reeled in without just being like, all right, just like put it on Gable at this point, you know? So, yeah, I'm going to go Gable. Maybe we get the rematch at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Well,
like Sami gets one more rematch. But who knows? Because if he wins Money in the Bank by then, because Money in the Bank's in July.
It is. It's before SummerSlam.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So who knows? But yeah, I'm going to go with Gable simply because it doesn't 100% feel like this. Well, just because I don't know how they get it back to Gable if he does lose. So.
See, I'm taking Sami because I don't think he's gonna win Money in the Bank, and
that's
I
definitely
don't know
not
if that
though. Like
potentially...
that's definitely not the pure reason that I'm taking Gable. It's more so because I just like don't know how they get back to Gable.
So, well, I feel like that's a lot of people's reasoning for why Sami should lose the title so he can win Money in the Bank. I personally don't see Sami winning Money in the Bank. I think Sami could main event Money in the Bank against Gable for the IC title.
Where's Money in the Bank?
But that kind of feels it's in Quebec, Canada.
Yeah, so it's in Montreal. Maybe.
But
then you have Sami
I just
lose?
think that they can.
Nah, bro, you have him win in Montreal, Money in the Bank
No.
in Montreal.
I was thinking, I mean, that would be sick. I just feel like there's also a chance that this feud goes until SummerSlam, and I think that could be the time to take the title.
It just
off
feels
of Sami.
like that's going to be like really drawn out if it lasts till SummerSlam, because it's been going on since like...
It does already kind of feel like they wrung this thing dry, right?
Yeah, so... Just because there's only so much you can do.
Yeah,
like, Gable can only keep losing. Gable can only not win it so many times. You know what I mean? To where it's just like, all right, how does he even get, like, why is he even in it anymore? You know?
Yeah, no, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I just think they're going to come up with a way.
Listen,
like, if
I
Sami
don't doubt
wins
it.
cleanly,
It has to
if
be.
Sami wins cleanly, then I think we're done. But if Gable like loses and maybe a shoulder is up, maybe foot's by a rope, maybe some shenanigans happens.
Yeah, maybe.
Then
That could
that's
happen.
kind of how we would keep it going. So let's move on, because we have a triple threat for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We've got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending against Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark, and against Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. Dillon, Jade and Bianca are coming out on top, right?
Yeah, for sure. They just put the titles on them recently. They're not going to lose them yet. And they're trying to... And it seems like they're really making an effort to say how they want to defend these titles, and they want to... I mean, they're putting them on pay-per-views. Like, there's the, third consecutive pay-per-view they're going to be on. Or premium live event. But still, it's, yeah, it feels like they're doing exactly what we said they were going to do when they put them on Bianca and Jade, which was, like, kind of ride this thing and let their run put some prestige back into the titles, and probably like, I wouldn't be completely surprised if they have, like, a year-long title reign. And this ends up, not year, but, like, this ends up going to one of them turning heel on the other, and then, like, the Mania match. Like, there's no reason they can't do that. And it's like, and that makes the match so much better if they've been a team for, like, 9 months and they have, like, an actual bond formed.
Yeah, and they've worked so well together.
Yeah, they really have.
I'm really impressed with, like, their tandem offense.
For sure. Like, they obviously are taking this thing seriously, like, as a tag team. I just want them to come out to the same entrance song, but...
Agreed, but I just think it probably won't happen because they both
probably
have
not.
such great entrances, but who knows? I think that they're going to win as well. I kind of feels like Shayna and Zoey are there just to eat the pin because I think that we could see like a bit of a push for Alba, Fyre, and Isla Dawn, but it's going to be interesting to see like where they kind of go from here in terms of who's going to challenge for the titles next. But I think we are going to get a long title reign from Jade and Bianca, and it's going to lead to a super good feud. So let's move on.
Yeah, I'll say Alba Dawn and Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre. They're also Scottish, so a bit of a homecoming for them. So that'll be really cool. This card trips definitely gave the Scots their gave them their time here in Scotland, rightfully so. Like brings us to the next match that we'll say, which is Bayley versus Piper Niven. Piper getting this match in Scotland, in her home country. Good, like, she deserves it. It's a really big spot for her. Definitely think Bayley's coming out on top. But yeah, I'm excited for the match nonetheless, and I'm really happy that
I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
So do I. Like, people don't realize that Piper can go, man. Like, Piper can go. She is a very good wrestler. She said it before, like, just getting the Piper Niven name back, like, meant so much to her because she put so much time into the Viper name on the Indies, which then translated to Piper in WWE. So, a little bit lost. Sorry, she was a little bit lost in the Dewdrop character. How can you
Rightfully
not be?
So.
Yeah, like, so, yeah, just, it's really cool, because she's been doing great work ever since she came back as Piper. And the pairing of her and Chelsea is really good, because it's not that Piper can't talk either. Like, she can go. Like, she can go on the mic. I mean, you just saw it. Like, she had a really good promo this past week.
Great promo.
Like, really good. Like, she can go. But having Chelsea with her, it's just like, so their personalities are just so funny together. And yeah, it's great. So, but I am picking Bayley.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Piper. Yeah, I'm also going to take Bayley. But, like, her promo on SmackDown, I thought was really good. I thought they did a really good job at her, because she was just like, I won world titles all over Europe before I even stepped foot in NXT, and, like, when you were there, you were like a nobody and had to make your name for yourself. So I thought, like, that was a good way to kind of be like let me reintroduce myself to you, remind you of who I am and what I'm capable of. But I think this is going to surprise a lot of people, this match, of how good it is, because, like we said, Piper can go. So I'm really excited for this match. And so let's move on to Damian Priest defending his title against Drew McIntyre.
So
this one's very interesting.
Yeah. I'll say this. Do you think this main events?
I mean, how can it not?
Yeah,
but I also feel like the I Quit match with Cody, like, that would be a tough one to not main event. But I think they're going to let Drew main event.
Yeah, they have to let Drew main event, because you can't, like, the only way the World Heavyweight title is going to be equal to the WWE title is if it main events a show that the WWE title is also on. Like they can't. It can't
Yeah.
be that it only main events shows when the WWE title is not on the show. It needs to main event instead of the W. Like it has to. That's the only way. To like, do you agree? Like it. It's never.
Yeah,
it
I
hasn't
fully
been
agree.
on the
That's
same.
a great-
It hasn't been on the same
valid.
show. And main evented, and like you said, it's Drew. It's in Scotland. He lost at Clash last year in Wales. This year is in his. I mean, this year he was right down the street from Scotland. Now he's in Scotland. Like, it has to main event. And I think
Do you
the
think
ending
he gets
will be
his moment?
No, CM Punk is going to spoil it.
I agree.
Yeah,
fully
Drew
agree.
is not winning. CM Punk is going to ruin this thing and walk out like probably walk out as if he's the biggest heel on the planet that night for sure. And I think everybody in Scotland is probably expecting it too. But dude, it's just like, yeah, the Drew and Punk feud has become so awesome. It was a feud that was like never. I mean, it wasn't it wasn't in the first 5 names, honestly, that you said. Like when you said Punk is back in WWE, like what feuds are we gonna get? Like what feuds are you most excited for? It probably just like it probably wasn't a feud that you immediately thought of. Like you think of Punk Rollins, Punk Cody, Punk AJ. You think of Punk and Randy, Punk and like you think of all these things. Not that nobody thought of Punk and Drew. It's more just who knew that we would be getting this, like out of Punk versus Drew McIntyre, like easily like the most the hottest story, the hottest feud I'd say in WWE, just because it's built to where these two men, like you can't put off this match. As soon as Punk is cleared, this match has to happen. Like so. It feels like the perfect place to do that is SummerSlam, probably, right? So you have Punk ruin Drew's moment once again, and then you get a proper 6-week build where these guys are tearing each other apart, getting ready for SummerSlam. And I don't know about you, I feel like that match when it happens might have to have a stipulation. Like, there is... I don't know. Like, I could also see them... I don't think it'll be one match. So, it'll probably end up being, like, the second match as a stipulation sort of thing. But, talking way too much about the feud that's not happening. With that being said, I think Damian Priest... I think he's been having a good run. Like, I really do. I think he's been doing well as champion. It's unfortunate that it really does kind of feel like they're just waiting to put it on Gunther now. But with that being said, I have been enjoying Damian's title reign, and although the moment would be great for Drew, it would feel a little bit premature for Damian's reign to end.
Fully agree. And my main thing with this is, so this boils back to Gunther, right? Gunther's challenging either world champion at SummerSlam. He's not losing at SummerSlam, right? So then it's like he's not going to face Cody because Cody's not going to drop the title at SummerSlam. So he's going to face whoever the world heavyweight champ is.
He already said that's who he's facing. Like, he's already going after the world. He's facing the winner of Drew.
Oh, he did. He did say that.
That's his brand. Like, that's what they're doing. Like,
hey man, I don't mean he can't do whatever he wants. I didn't know if he said he's going after.
No, I don't. I think
because I know Nia did.
No, I think
I kind of just figured it anyway.
No, yeah, I think he did. But I was gonna say, like, that was definitely, like, even if he didn't, like, it was just everything they've been saying. Like, Cole, like, they've definitely said that Gunther will be facing the winner of Drew and Damian.
Gotcha. So then it's like, all right, well, you're not gonna have Gunther versus Drew at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So then it's like, all right, well then
Punk.
obviously Priest is gonna Priest is gonna win. Like, you're gonna get Gunther versus Priest, and then
Gunther
you're gonna get
has
Drew
to win the title
versus Punk,
and like Gunther has to
awesome.
win probably, and that's the other thing
100%.
too. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like you can't have the title change. You don't want to put it on Drew and then just put it on Gunther and then no,
because that way you get
think...
like what? It's kind of like however many more weeks it is till SummerSlam. What's that? Early August? We're in June.
Yeah,
July.
it's like 6 weeks.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, you give Drew or you give Damian some more time. You give him a nice win over Drew. Maybe have him defend at Money in the Bank, and then you go from there. Put the title on Gunther, but then you establish Priest as like a main event caliber wrestler, and you can have him feud with Finn Balor or whoever else you want following that. So let's move on, because we've got the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, defending his title in an I Quit match against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. We talked about it before, how it was going to be interesting to see sort of what Cody does following the match with Logan, and I thought it's funny just looking at it being like, all right, we know this is what Triple H wanted, but they had to do that Logan match for songs. Yeah. And then Triple H is like, yeah, we're going back to what I wanted to do now. And this match is going to cook. It's an I Quit match. They made it an I Quit match last week on SmackDown. AJ had the fake retirement. Never trust someone in pastel-colored suit. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, man. That was super cool.
Fooled me.
A reference to that Mark Henry Hall of Pain run when he broke out the salmon-colored jacket and then hit John Cena with a nice World's Strongest Slam, and then AJ kind of paid a little homage to that, breaking out the pastel-colored suit, and then kind of doing the same thing to Cody, faking the retirement. And I feel like they set up the match really well, too, because Cody was like, and we're going to do it. I'm not going to pin you. I'm going to make you say what you wish you said, what you're going to wish you said earlier, whatever. I quit. It was something to do with quitting. You know what I mean? He said it much better than I did.
He said, I'm going to make you say what you should have said on SmackDown. I quit.
Yeah, I'm going to make you say what you should have said. I quit. So, yeah. That'll be awesome.
Dude, I screamed. I was so pumped for that.
Yeah, haven't had an I Quit match in a long time, it feels like. What was the last? Potentially, I want to say Edge versus Randy.
The one we watched?
Yeah, Edge versus Randy, right? At Mania. In the Performance Center.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what?
Was there one?
What year was that?
I guess 2020. Because it was WrestleMania in the Performance Center.
Oh. We watched Finn against Edge.
Was Finn versus Edge? Was that an I Quit match? Oh, yeah, we were there. Because we heard Finn go.
Remember, Finn would go.
Yeah, sorry, I just screamed it to the mic. That probably maxed out super hard, but I forgot. That was so funny. They would just they would be like, Finn, do you quit? And he would just be like, ah!
Dude, because we talked about it, because how funny it is to watch I Quit matches live, because you don't hear anything.
Oh, yeah, you don't hear them
you don't
say,
even hear
like,
the refs say anything.
Do you quit? Yeah. Every once in a while,
you just hear them scream in pain.
No! Or, never! Yeah, I forgot about that one.
And Finn was the best with that.
Yeah, no, oh my God, Finn, the entire stadium was laughing. Like, it was so funny.
I know.
I forgot all about that. Who was that? Was that Finn versus who?
Edge.
I guess that was Edge. Yeah, that was Edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
That was awesome.
Okay. That was after Mania?
That was, yeah. That was in like 22, I think.
No, yeah, I meant like after their Mania match. You know what I mean? Like, because they had the Hell in a Cell match at Mania.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was in October.
Gotcha. Or maybe it was probably before then. It was probably the October before that. And we don't have to get into this right now.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
so
no, it's fine.
Tell me who's coming out on top.
Yeah, Cody. Cody's winning. I'm thinking there's going to be some brutal spots in this match. Probably get some blood. I think blood might be
We're getting
necessary
blood.
at this point in the feud.
Jinx.
It's an I Quit match. And Cody said it, man. At the end of the day, maybe he is just a hard-nosed, love the taste of blood in his mouth, professional wrestler. So, yeah, we all know Cody loves blood. So, if they're going to let Cody use some blood, Cody's going to bleed.
He's going to use...
We've all seen Cody bleed his own blood. And boy, does he bleed. But yeah, I think Cody
bleed his own blood.
Yeah, and Cody's gonna win though, and I think
fully agree.
Do you think we get a third match in the feud? So my thing with I can totally see it. My thing with a third match in the feud is how do you come back from saying I quit? That's like a pretty you know what I mean?
I don't know if you do.
That's what I'm saying. So this might be the last match of the feud.
Unless...
Which is fine. We're probably going to get that Randy heel turn, to be honest.
That's true.
What do you think? What were you going to say?
Unless they do 3 stages of hell.
That would be insane.
At Money in the
Bank. That would be
Bank.
the greatest.
Give me a 3 stages of hell match, damn it.
I know. That would have to be at SummerSlam. That would have to be. You can't do 3 stages of hell for the first... For what? I was going to say the first time in 20 years, but honestly, it's the 4th or 5th time ever. It's only happened a few times.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got to be.
I can't even remember the last.
There's got to be. There's going to be a brutal crossroads probably on the ramp. Yeah. I just can't wait to see what these men do. So, but Cody's definitely coming out on top.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, before we wrap this bad boy up, what do you because we're trying to figure out what AJ's gonna do, if they're gonna continue this feud or not. And initially it feels like they won't, but it's also, do you start Cody's SummerSlam feud at Money in the Bank? Maybe they I feel like they gotta put Cody on the Money in the Bank card. So
I don't
do you
think they will.
Maybe
for some reason I think they're not gonna
put him on the card.
Yeah, I feel like Cody might not be on Money in the Bank.
I mean, it would make sense because I think it feels like this has to be the end of the AJ feud, but then I also I guess they would just leave him off the card. But is there any chance Mr. I Hear Voices in My Head wins Money in the Bank?
I don't think so. I don't think. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just trying to remember if that would be his second or third Money in the Bank.
His third. I know he won a match. I think he's definitely held the briefcase twice, but I feel like the other time he might have got it off of somebody. Does that make sense?
Classic.
I can't remember.
Classic.
But
yeah,
it's a. Yeah, I don't think Cody's gonna be on Money in the Bank, to be honest. For some reason.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Or maybe it would surprise me because I feel like they love the international crowds they usually want. I feel like Cody's kind of a staple.
Yeah, that's true. But
shows.
You said, what if Sami main events?
That would be sick. So
we'll see.
I mean, listen, it's tough. We'll talk about Money in the Bank as we get closer, potentially following Clash at the Castle. Jey Uso already declared for the match, so I think we're going to start to get more people declaring following this, following Clash at the Castle. So it's going to be interesting to see who's all going to be in the match, who's going to win it, who is going to be a future world champion. But you guys let us know your thoughts and your predictions for Clash at the Castle. Let us know, is Drew McIntyre walking out with the World Heavyweight Championship, or is CM Punk going to ruin his opportunity, ruin his moment yet again? You can listen to the Burning Hammer podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to it. Plus, you can watch it on YouTube at The Burning Hammer. Follow us on all of our social media, on Twitter, or should I say X. We are at The Burnt Hammer. Everything else, we are at The Burning Hammer. With that being said, that's going to wrap up this episode of The Burning Hammer podcast. I'm Mark Izzo, he's Dillon O'Brien, and we will catch you next week.
Peace.